part and parcel of Islam. Terrorism is part of the deen of Islam, yes?
This man and 5 others are convicted of supporting terrorism. Why did it take so long? Newsnight's been reporting on the activities of Abu Izzeddin and the radical al-Muhajiroon group he was part of for years. So why were security services so far behind? And is it too late to stop the radicalisation these men perpetrated? Tonight we bring you new evidence of extremists who seem prepared to put British lives in danger. In Washington, smiles for whoever the next president may be, but there's trouble brewing for Brown back at home. Zimbabwe's opposition leader reveals he was approached by the ruling ZANU-PF party to broker a possible transition of power. And he tells Newsnight why he doesn't want a runoff or a recount of the election. And how the media portrays the immigration debate, same story, different headlines. Will we ever get to the truth? Hello, good evening. Abu Izzeddin described the 7/7 attacks on London as completely praiseworthy on this very programme. Today he's been found guilty of inciting terrorism overseas and for raising money to fund it. 5 others were convicted alongside him, including another man, Simon Keeler, who has also been the subject of a Newsnight investigation. The extremist organisation they were a part of, al-Muhajiroon, was allowed to continue to organise and to recruit members until as late as 2004. In a moment, we'll be asking why security service failed to crack down earlier on groups they have long known were behind this kind of activity. But first, here's Richard Watson, who's been investigating the activities of al-Muhajiroon for years.
You're an enemy to Islam and Muslims. Shame on all of us to sit down and listen to him. You know how many Muslims have been arrested? Over 1,000.
Abu Izzeddin, the Jamaican convert to Islam who was convicted today, shot to prominence in September 2006 when he heckled the former Home Secretary John Reid. Mr. Reid had been urging British Muslims to help the police unearth extremists.
You are a tyrant! Don't push me!
This intervention did not break the law, but speeches like this, given at Regent's Park Mosque in London in 2004, did.
Brothers and sisters, terrorism, it is part and parcel of Islam. Terrorism is part of the deen of Islam, yes?
Even so, the police appear to have been slow to act. An independent investigator who tracks terrorist and extremist websites says he downloaded the Regent's Park speeches from a password-protected website and passed them on to the police in 2005.
What I find surprising about it is if you can get across this detail and hack into these websites, download the videos, send them off to the anti-terrorist police, then surely the authorities must be doing this.
No, they're not. The meeting I had with the senior officers at New Scotland Yard, they actually said there is so many radical Islamic terrorists supporting websites that they haven't got enough officers to actually monitor the web.
So who is Abu Izzeddin? Born into a Jamaican-British family from East London, his real name is Trevor Brooks. He was raised as a Christian but converted to Islam at 17. In the mid-1990s, when radical preachers were being welcomed into Britain, he joined al-Muhajiroon, Omar Bakri Mohammed's extremist Islamic group. Al-Muhajiroon supported the violent overthrow of the British state and the imposition of Islamic law. We followed Abu Izzeddin's progress for years. 7 months before the 9/11 attacks in America in 2001, a masked Abu Izzeddin told us how he wanted to target America.
Because I believe America is one of the places where we should be bombing the government. There are some Muslims that go to America because obviously, you know, light firearms is available inside America to be trained legally. So why not take the opportunity to use the heart of the enemy that's attacking us?
Then after the London bombings in July 2005, we caught up with him again. His comments to us then provoked a storm of protest.
What I would say about those who do suicide operations or martyrdom operations, because suicide is a term coined in the media, they're completely praiseworthy.
Are you willing to denounce right now the London bombings which killed so many people?
No.
Why not?
I would never denounce Muslims.
This was murder.
No. Mujahideen activity.
One of the 7/7 survivors says hate preachers like Abu Izzeddin deserve what they get.
Words, to a certain extent, have become weapons. They've become the fuel for bomb makers, if not the actual bombs. It's a difficult line to walk between free speech and hate speech, but I think there is a line, and he has crossed it, because he has incited and encouraged young men to go out and kill themselves and others in the name of God, which is wicked.
You're either with us or you're either with the terrorists. And what did we Muslims say? We said, we're not with you, we're with the terrorists. Allah.
We filmed Simon Keeler in 2004 at this Al Mahajroon meeting in London, where the 9/11 attacks were described as magnificent. Well, would you use the word magnificent?
Yeah, I would, yeah.
You would?
Yes. Any of those superlatives, you know.
But the fact of the matter is that 3,000 innocent people died.
You talk about 3,000 innocents, or so-called innocents. What about the 200,000 innocents in Afghanistan? You're crying about the fact that America, the oppressor, has been punched in the nose. I mean, that's basically what happened.
Today, he was found guilty of incitement to terror.
British authorities effectively ignored the activities of Al Mahajroon for more than a decade. Finally, it seems action is being taken against those involved in radicalisation and extremism. But the great problem for Britain is that those going to prison now have already had the chance to radicalise the next generation of extremists. And this is a problem that MI5, the security service, understand, because they judge that, if anything, the terrorist threat is increasing.
This is a speech made within the past couple of months by a British Muslim calling himself Abu Maryam. He jokes about his former work as a security officer screening luggage. It was unearthed by freelance terrorism investigator Glenn Genvy.
So Glenn, what have we got here?
I come across this video on a website which I've been monitoring as part of my research. And this guy used to work as a security officer, scanning things through computers.
Let's see what he's got to say. Let's play here.
Touch a room now. I remember I used to work with one security firm. We used to examine stuff on computer screens. You've got two buttons there, green one and a red one. Green one means it's safe, red one means it's an alert. So obviously you know what I'm going to do, innit? Green, yalla, let it all go through. It's not my mum on the happening, you know what I mean? So let's just let them all go through.
He's sort of implying that if someone was trying to smuggle stuff onto an aircraft or onto a Eurostar, he's going to let it through.
Yeah, that's got huge consequences, obviously, and people outside the UK are obviously going to be completely concerned about this.
It's frightening. I think anybody would be worried about it. It's clearly a security risk, and it's a problem if you've got people who have extremist beliefs, who are boasting that they could attack passengers, working in jobs where they've got access to passengers. That's horrible.
Tonight, 5 out of the 6 men found guilty of terrorism offences are in prison awaiting sentencing. The 6th, Shah Jalal Hussein, is on the run, having skipped bail during the trial. A trial which draws a line under Al Mahajroon, but not under radicalisation and terror.
Richard